Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're in the right place at the right time. Today is Tuesday, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I'm glad you're here because I'm here, and we're going to have a very informative show today, as always. A couple of weeks ago, I promised you guys that we were going to be talking about financial solutions. And this is part of that series of financial solutions. I've got a returning guest with me today. He's finally in the green room. Mr. Robert Saunders. He's going to be with us, giving us an update on what's going on in his world. So we're looking forward to bringing him in a few minutes. So you all stand by. Let's get the commercials out the way. Before I go to the commercials, let me give a shout out that I always give every time I go live to my mentor, my spiritual leader, Dr. Hunt. Now, Dr. Hunt has been with me 30 plus years. I promise you that is no small task. For somebody to be with me that long, I tell you, he got the patience that it takes to be able to mentor me and be with me and keep me going in the right direction. So I always love to give him a shout out. I always love to let him know that I'm praying and thinking about him all the time. And I tell you, that's no small task. When you got a leader, pray for him. If you have a pastor, you have a spiritual leader, pray for them. Cannot emphasize it enough. All right, so moving right along, I want to invite people to go over to my website, ask-dr-ron.com. When you get over there, I want you to browse around and check out some of the information that we have over there. We have advertisers that are listed here, RRJ Web Solutions, Surf Synergy, Port Again Sam, and Prince Hunter Financial Group, just to name a few. Okay. I want to encourage you to go to RRJ Web if you are interested in trying to do something with the websites. He is your person to go to. Click on any one of the tabs that you see or any one of the flyers that you see on the website, and it will take you directly to their website. Sir Synergy, if you're interested in saving money and learning how to, make money in the energy field, Osei, who was on the show with us last week, reach over, click on it, talk to him. Pour it again, Sam. Some of the best wines and spirits in the world. He brings them here to our little small area, Chicago. And I tell you, when you get some of Sam's wine or cognacs or spirits, you're getting the best. Click on the banner, go over there. And last but not least, Prince Hunter Financial Group. He is offering 4 free classes to anybody who is interested in finding out about the stock market, the Forex market. If you think you want to learn how to trade those markets, reach out to him. Say, hey, I want my 4 free classes and I'm interested in learning so that I can make money in the stock market or make money in the Forex market. Now, people will tell you, well, it's billionaires losing money in the market right now. Well, they got billions to lose, and they got those billions by being in the market. So think about that, and think about going to take your classes because they're free, 4 free classes, and get yourself in that billionaire, marketplace. All right. Well, like I said at the top of the show, I've got my friend, my brother. He is back on with us today, and I tell you, he brings us great information every time he comes on, and I'm so glad that he took time out of his busy schedule. Literally, he was running through the airport to get to where he's at right now and jump in that seat to be on the show with us today. So that's how important it is for him to get this information out to the public. And I tell you, I am so glad he is my friend and my brother. He's no stranger to the show. He's been here before. So welcome back, Mr. Robert Saunders.
Hey, Dr. Ron, I'm glad to be back on your show, my friend and my brother. I tell you, I had a situation getting on here, and Ron is just so nice of a guy. He did not put me on the spot because he's known. That's y'all don't know him. That's his mo. He'll put you. Sometimes he'll put you on the spot, and he'll do just what you see me doing now. But ever since Ryan came into my life some years ago, he's latched on, and he's one of the few brothers that have called me just to see how I'm doing.
Hey, and that's what brothers are
Uh,
supposed to do.
yeah, that's right, and I love him. My wife, my family, we all love Dr. Ron. He is a man about town. He's a man for the people. He believes in helping people whenever he can, and not only that, but Ron is also, he has such faith in me. He refers his friends and family
Right.
to me for whatever they need. I just want to let you know I am a HUD certified housing counselor, and I work with South Suburban Housing Center at 18220 Harwood in Homewood, Illinois. And we're one of few agencies in the South Suburb that provide pre-purchase counseling, default delinquency counseling, foreclosure intervention, and such, of which I am the supervisor for the default and delinquency counseling and foreclosure. So if you see me on the show, it is because Ron believes in housing and the impact that housing has on the community. It's also why our governor solicited funds through the CARE Act. These funds that came over for billions of dollars to help people who are behind in their mortgage, facing foreclosure, behind in your back taxes. You're about to lose your place if you're in a condo or a townhouse, to HOA fees. He literally has opened those coffers. Now that money doesn't just come from the state; it comes from the Department of Treasury, and is rolled out through the state. And IDA, or the Illinois Housing Development Authority, they issue those funds to qualified individuals. Now you can pre-qualify for this program, and I think you need to go to IHDA/HAF um, to get into the link to apply for the program. So it's over at 11:30, no, 11:59 p.m. on the 31st. So the day after Memorial Day, so after y'all get through sucking on your rib bones and eating spaghetti and coleslaw and all that, you need to, matter of fact, forget about all that. You need to be on the computer on the 30th trying to get in there,
Yeah.
and just put the plate next to you, because there are people who have applied. There are people who are being reviewed right now to get those funds. Our office has been, and Ron knows this. He's been trying to get a hold of me, and I was so busy, I couldn't even. Man, when I got off work, I wasn't even trying to see no telephone. I'm be honest. I wasn't trying to see no phone. Wasn't trying to deal with no people. I just wanted to get me a point where I could just get me a breather.
Yeah.
You know, um, there are so many people in suburban Cook County and Chicago proper that they're right on the cusp of becoming
Mm.
homeless as a result of the pandemic. Um, and look, it doesn't matter if you are a professional. It doesn't matter, whether you're working as a waitress in a restaurant or you working downtown in an ivory tower, it has affected everybody.
Yep.
Everybody just a few paychecks short of being out of their house. And you know what, Ron? Since we're talking about that, before the pandemic happened, housing in Chicago and in Cook County was already difficult to
Yep.
find. It was already hard. And the reason for that is because a lot of people did not have the ability to save. They were spending almost half of their income on rent.
Yep.
Some people were paying half of their income on their mortgages.
That's right.
And when something happened, repairs or illness or family problems, whatever, it left them without the ability to keep their loans current. So, so this crisis that's going on, it's a crisis going on in our city. There really is. It's a crisis. Now, you've got several different types of crisis.
Mm-hmm.
You got people who, African Americans, who are being gentrified and displaced in communities that actually have excellent amenities, such as the lakefront,
Mm-hmm.
such as the Obama Center,
Mm-hmm.
where properties have doubled and tripled in value in those areas. And guess what? You ain't going to get them
Yeah.
because of the income. So you know, all of this was going on even before COVID hit. And then after COVID came, it just heightened it and made it worse. So I've oftentimes said that we were on the verge of another foreclosure crisis.
Yep.
And now, Dr. Ron, I'm seeing them come into the office now.
Man, look, you unpacked so much stuff in your opening statement, man. We got to go back a little bit, okay?
Uh-oh.
All right, because I don't want you to just touch on things and keep on going, which what you did. But so we're gonna go back just a little bit. Now, the company that you have, you all are working with people so they don't understand this deadline with helping people that are behind on their mortgage. And is there how far behind they are before they can apply for help?
They have to be at least 30 days
Okay.
delinquent.
So anybody that is at least 30 days behind on their mortgage is eligible to come forward and apply through the IDA website, and then get help with their information through your organization. So it's two separate things. There's your
Hmm.
organization, and then there's the IDA website portal, which is where they're doing the applying. Now, if they reach out to your organization to help them fill out the documentation that's needed in order to apply, what kind of service or what kind of welcome will they get? Like you said, you've been coming home falling out because people have been wearing you out. But what can they look forward to, and what do they need to have in order to be able to get some assistance?
The, the bottom line that you when you go online, you have a pre-qualification
Mm-hmm.
process to go through. That was the first one that we just talked about as far as being at the 30
Mm-hmm.
days in default.
Mm-hmm.
You can 30 it could be 1 month, 3 months, 4 months. The bottom line is the limit is 30,000
Okay.
bucks. So if you're 12 months, you can
Okay.
apply as long as it doesn't go over 30,000
That's the
bucks.
limit.
Right. Then the other thing is that if you have a mobile home, so those of you that have mobile homes, you can get your lot rent paid, back lot rent paid up to 30,000. Those of you that own your houses outright, and you have taxes that are due and that are delinquent, you can do that, and you can even, if it's as long as it's up to 30,000, you can even prevent a tax sale.
Mm.
So if your tax is sold, you can buy them back and get to keep your home as well. Those are certain criteria. While we're talking, because I fell behind, I'm looking at I'm going in and I'm actually opening up the the portal, and that way you can actually see what it would be. You can go to ida.org and you can pull it up and get information. But the fund is still open.
Mm-hmm.
As I stated, it was created by the American Rescue Plan Act, and it was basically designed to prevent these mortgage delinquencies and defaults, foreclosures, loss of utilities. That's right, utilities and home energy services. Um, so people who have faced the financial hardship, the next criteria is it would have had to have happened after January 21st of
Okay.
2020. So there's about $309 million or so that's available.
Okay.
So and they can apply at www.illinoishousinghelp.org/HAM.
Okay.
So that is actually the link.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to repeat it again. It's www.illinoishousinghelp.org.
Yeah, and we're gonna ask you put
You
that,
you asked.
put that in the chat, so just in case people they weren't able to write it down that fast, so we'll put it in the chat after the show is over with, because I don't want to distract them right now, because we're gonna we're gonna let you see is the link in the chat so that you can have that information so people can click on it and they understand. Oh, okay, that's what he's talking about. So now you also mentioned about that your agency offers classes for new homeowners or previous homeowners. They can contact your agency and get in on those classes. Now, what's the criteria for that?
Yeah, Ron. Before I answer that, you had asked me another question, and you asked me what would they
Right.
need to
Exactly.
apply with it.
Exactly.
So you're going to need your most recent mortgage statement. You're going to need your identification. You're going to need your property tax bill.
Okay.
You're going to need your most recent pay stubs. You're going to need either a housing counselor certificate that states that you were counseled by a housing counselor to submit that. You can't even get into the application without that. Or you're going to have to use any your letters from your lender that you're working with them. You're going to need that.
And we're back. You want to say that again?
Okay. We were talking about the documentation that's needed. So I don't know when we went out, so I'll go back and talk about it. You're going to need a mortgage statement, most recent mortgage statement. Don't come up with nothing from 5 months ago, and they will look at things if they're 90 days or newer, basically. Your pay stubs for a month, your most recent pay stubs to show your income of you and all of the household earners over 18. You're going to need identification to show who you are. You're going to need a utility bill that can show proof of residency, your tax bill, your most recent bank statements. You're going to need a letter or a certificate from a housing counselor, or a letter from your lender stating that they're working with you, as well as if you are in foreclosure, you're working with Chicago Volunteer Legal Clinic, or legal aid. If they write a letter, you can apply. You're going to need those three documents. The last three, you're going to need that to continue on through the application. So if it's any questions that a person has regarding the application, they can feel free to reach out to our agency. You see my email that's on the screen there in front of you, rsanders@southsuburban.net. But also, you can call 708-957-4674 to get information as well. And then Dr. Ron said he was going to put the information for the website. That's your greatest source of information, actually, when you go directly into the website. You have until May 31st, 11:59. We are also open on Saturdays too, Dr.
Okay.
Ron. And all we're doing is taking applications. That's all we're doing. We're not doing any counseling, anything like that. And if you need counseling, we still be happy to put your application in. Then we'll set an appointment with you later on in June to do counseling.
Okay.
That is, if you're having a problem getting the counseling certificate. So we can actually talk to you about the Housing Assistance Fund, waive the counseling certificate for a while until June, just to make sure that you get your hat in the ring.
Okay. All right. So now you can mention about the classes for people that are interested in being home buyers.
Man, you be working a brother, man, with this little time that we
Hey
got
man,
here.
we got
But
time, bro. We got time. We're gonna make time because this is too important. You know,
you know I'm messing with you. You know I'm
I
messing with you.
appreciate that because I want people to know that I reach out to people like yourself because I know that you bring such a plethora of knowledge that can be of value to people, and that's what I want them to understand. This is not just a gossip show. This is a show where you can get gold nuggets, get knowledge. And with this knowledge, you can improve your quality of life, hold on to the quality of life that you have. If you've got a home that you struggled to get a hold to, first of all, to get a home, you put down a chunk of money, okay, that you worked
That's
hard
right. That's
to
right.
get, and then you had to jump through hoops
Good
with
chunk.
gasoline draws on, in order to get that house, no matter where that house is at. And then a few roller coaster ups and downs take place, and all of a sudden, you're in trouble. Okay, and
Mm-hmm.
then people don't care nothing about that chunk of money you put down. Then people don't care nothing about how many hoops you jump through. So they just want,
No, they
they
don't.
just want like, okay, we got a hook on the line. We got one on the hook. We can reel them in and take what they got and give it to somebody else. So, there's this thing called life, and things
Mm-hmm.
happen in life that we don't always have control over, you know? And
That's
and
right.
and and I tell people constantly all the time, you are two paychecks away from being homeless. And if you bought that home and you can't pay for it, and you get two paychecks out of two paychecks, and you can't continue to manage the expenses that you have with that home, you're gonna be under a viaduct in a tent. Okay? And that's not
That's
that's
right. That's
that's
right.
that's just keeping it real. Okay? So when you got opportunities, when people like in the state of Illinois are reaching out and trying to help you hold on to what you got to take advantage of it. Plain and simple. You need to take advantage of it. Okay? And that's what we're trying to encourage people to know where to find the knowledge to get the help that they need during a crisis time such as this. And we're in a crisis. We are definitely in a crisis. I mentioned at the top of the show that billionaires are losing billions of dollars in the stock market right now. But if they got billions to lose, they ain't worried about stuff like we are. They ain't two paychecks away.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That's liquid for them. Oh, 2 billion, 3 billion, 4 billion, no problem. I'll get some more. It'll bounce back. And they ride the tide. but
Mm-hmm.
we can't do that. We got to fight for what we got, and we got to fight to keep it. So that's my little nickel speech. So now, what's that information again? Tell them where they can take them classes.
Well, the information what you were talking about, we're doing what we can to help to combat the housing crisis by education.
Yes.
That's one way that you can beat this is by education and getting enough information to learn to do things. When we bought houses, we didn't get down payment assistance. We didn't get any money. You can get from the state, you can get up to $7,500 in down payment assistance. That was unheard of back in the 90s. It didn't come into play until the 2000s, like 2006, 2007. Then you start hearing about this because it was used to combat, or supposedly to combat the disparity between white home ownership and black home ownerships. Black home ownerships is down like 39%.
Mm-hmm.
White home ownership is
Okay.
73%. That's a huge gap
Mm-hmm.
in home ownership, and it was systemic. It was done by design.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be a topic for another show. But we do what we can by offering these classes to help combat that and to do what we can to help close that gap. And just to let you know, by the time that gap is closed, I will probably be 100 years old when you start to see that gap close.
Mm-hmm.
So what you want to do, we have virtual home buyer classes so that you can tap into these funds. And the only way. Mhm.
And we're back. We've been having technical difficulties with Facebook, you all. And I tell you, Facebook is dropping the ball. You know, they're not keeping up their end of the bargain. So the Ask Dr. Ron show, just so y'all understand, we're going to be making some moves, okay? We're going to go someplace where they appreciate the programming that I bring out. So now, Robert was giving us, the information about the classes that they're bringing, they're doing, and working on trying to help make sure that you are a better qualified buyer when you spend your money, and you get all the help that you can get in order to be able to get into your home. Okay? So I just want y'all to know that's what we're talking about right now. We're giving y'all that information. Like I said, we were talking about at the top of the show, financial solutions. Okay? This is definitely a financial solution. When you are a home owner, you got a piece of the pie. And it's a little bit more difficult to push you around, when you got a piece of the pie. I remember, and Robert, you older than me, I think. Um, I remember when there was a comedian some decades ago, when they said the aliens came down to Earth, and he came ready, got ready to land. He said, "You on Mr. Gilmore property now? You gonna have to go somewhere because we ain't tolerating that stuff." And that's what he meant by black ownership. You remember that? You remember that? Yeah, you on Mr.
Mhm.
Gilmore property now. Yeah.
Mhm.
Look, we ain't having no aliens over here. Going on down the road. Go on down the road a little bit. Because right here is where I live. So if you don't mind, you don't have to do it all, but just letting people, understand the relevance of this class.
Well, you know that, like you were saying, it's a lot of information in a short period of time that you have to condense. But the relevance of these classes is so that you can educate. Educate is empowering or empowerment. The only way a person can be empowered by what has been placed in their mind and in their spirit, because no one can take out any knowledge that you gain. So we have the virtual home buyer education course. It's usually given on a night and on a weekend. And these courses are designed to teach you about all of the components of home ownership, such as home inspections, such as what to do if you needed to get repairs, how to shop for a mortgage, what a real estate agent does, what a real estate attorney does. In other words, what are you paying them for? Um, Talk to you about the what types of mortgages are out there that are for you. Mortgages, there's no such thing as a bad mortgage
Mm-hmm.
because, but there is a such thing as people being misinformed and put into the wrong
Okay.
mortgage. You have to know what product is right for you. A person self-employed may not want to be in a fixed rate.
Mm-hmm.
They may want to be in where they can have pay interest only, and then pay on the principal and interest to float it around like that. There's a product out there like that for self-employed people because if you're going through a rough patch, then you may just want to pay the interest on it and then come back later on and pay toward the principal. And when you do it that way, you can stay in your house, avoid keep from going into foreclosure. Now, if you have a steady income and your job is stable, then you want to get into a fixed rate mortgage. These are the type of things that you learn about in these classes, and you have the ability, even though they're virtual, to talk to all of these real estate professionals that are involved in these classes. I don't teach them directly myself, but we have people in our office, and then Tanisha, who is our director, she's excellent at that, and Russell and Williams, who teach that. I specialize in default delinquency. So when we look at that part, that part is designed to help people, empower them to help them stay in their homes, and in some cases advocate against these lenders and others that are doing things to try to get people out of their homes. Believe it or not, you got folks out there that are trying to get you out of your house,
Mm-hmm.
especially depending on where you
That's
live.
right.
Some people say that that's not true. It is just as sure as you're looking at me.
Yep.
There are people that want to play games and scam you out of your house or scam you out of your equity. So you can learn how to deal with those through our default delinquency and foreclosure workshops. Also, I wanted to say this, Dr. Ron, since I'm talking about it, uh, we just won. I think you know this. We won a discrimination lawsuit to the tune of $53 million.
Okay.
Did you know
No,
about that?
please tell me about it. Can I get some? Can I get some of that? You know?
Well, it was the fair housing groups and South Suburban Housing Center in different parts of the country. But here we got a $53 million settlement with Fannie Mae in the REO
All right
case.
now.
So out of that 53 million, it's dispersed to the different agencies, but the money that came to our agency is going to be put back out. I do know it's going to be put back out to the community
Uh,
to help people purchase homes and to go with our mortgage distress
okay.
assistance fund to help people who are
In
behind.
crises right now.
And we've had the mortgage assistance fund for a long
Yeah.
time, but that was because as a result, the best way I can do this, because for sake, I know we got different levels of listeners.
Right.
Got intelligent ones to some that, I'm not going to say you're not so intelligent, but knowledgeable, I
Yeah.
should say.
Just not. That's just
So,
not their area. Yeah.
but one
Yeah.
thing that you do know,
Mm-hmm.
that if you go into Harvey, if you go into Dixmoor, Dalton, and look at the houses that are in foreclosure, that are boarded up or abandoned. You see grass growing up 3 feet high, cable lines down, wires down, windows broken out, all kind of things. Those are what are referred to as REO or real estate owned.
Mm-hmm.
They went back to the lender, and it becomes the lender's responsibility to maintain
And
those
they
properties.
not.
Right, then they're not. But if you go to Evergreen Park, Orland Park, okay, even Chicago, you go on the north side, you go to Lincoln Park, you go to Logan Square, you go to other areas, and you go out to Roseland, and you go out to Inglewood. You're going to see the disparity in where these lenders are putting their money into keeping these properties up. You go to Orland
That's
Park,
right.
let me tell you, man, they put curtains up at the
Mm-hmm.
windows. They pick the mail up. They even pull the garbage can. They got people that do that they pay to
That's
do that.
right.
You'll never know that house is vacant or that house is empty. You'll
That's
never
right.
know it. The yards are nice and manicured and mowed. You'll never know it. So we did a 3 year, 3 year, took 3 years to bring the suit to court, and then it took another three or so to challenge it. And with the help of the other agencies, we won.
Well,
And so
congratulations.
now that's a shout out to other people, because there are people, neighbors, who reported certain things that was going on in their neighborhood, and they wanted us to come out and do it. I remember when we first started this. Um, so we did win that, and that money is going back out to the community, Ron. Just so, and there may be something in it for you. So we'll see.
Yeah.
They haven't. They're still working on the details. It was April 7th that we
Well,
won that suit.
congratulations. Now I got a question. You mentioned Harvey and Dixmoor, some of the economically depressed communities. I over the last month, I have been riding through Harvey, and I tell you, man, it hurts my heart to see the condition of that town. And I remember when Harvey was a very prosperous community.
Vibrant,
Yes,
vibrant.
and
Dixie Square
yeah, I
Mall.
mean you going way back. Yeah, but that's what I'm talking about though. We had designer homes, Art Deco. We had homes that had pools in the lower levels. In certain places, and all these homes had families in them. I remember when the population in Harvey was still 70% white. Okay, and different parts of the town of Harvey now
Hmm.
got potholes. What used to be downtown Harvey is now a ghost town. I think they have one liquor store and one grocery store that used to be filled with businesses all through the area. So now, with this type of lawsuit that you all just came together and picked up, would they be able to target Harvey and say, "Hey, we're gonna bring it back. We're gonna do the best we can," because some of those properties just need to be torn down. There's no saving those properties. They've been bombed out, burnt out. There's nothing there. Their homes are so debilitated. They're just ruined. There's nothing to, you just got to get the land and start from scratch. So will there be an opportunity with this, lawsuit that you just talked about to be able to target areas like a Harvey?
That is a what you just talked about is an important question, but and a very difficult one to answer. And the reason being is because the funds that we have, and so they're
Right.
dispersed. So the funds that we get would not be
To
enough
do a Harvey.
to try to tackle on a problem
Right.
like that. But however, it is enough to become a catalyst to help if people want to go back to those
Mm-hmm.
areas and purchase homes or do this. Most people don't want to purchase homes in those
Right.
areas. And Harvey is one of our mortgage distress assistance communities.
Mm.
So if a person lived in Harvey and they were behind in their mortgage and the lender did not want to work with them, denied them for a loan modification, they can come to us, and if they're eligible, they can get up to $15,000 in mortgage assistance.
Yeah.
And in order to be able to stay and maintain that block, maintain that block. It's a known fact that if you help people stay on the block, that you will help stabilize home values in a particular area.
Right.
So the first thing is you got to keep the ones there that's already
Yeah.
there. Now the next thing is when you're talking about a village, and we're just using Harvey for example, you got to tackle the crime. Businesses
Oh
do
yeah.
not want to put their spend their money and open up stores and this and that. If they know Pookie and Ray Ray is waiting outside to rob their
Man,
customers or to come
Pookie
inside and get
and
them.
Ray Ray will mess you up every time. Boy, I tell you. uh,
And Skillet, don't forget Skillet. So yeah,
yeah.
you put money, that's the other part. And then the other thing is that you have to make these lenders responsible for letting this happen in our
Yeah.
communities. Lean on them to get money. We leaned on them because of a fair housing
Right.
issue. That's the other part I wanted to say. We are a regional fair housing agency. So my director is a fair housing attorney, and if you violate something and it's proven, they will
Yeah.
sue you. So so when you talk about the homeowners though, you can talk to the banks in mass and make it. The federal government did it. They made the banks pay uh, billions of dollars in settlements for the mistakes that they were
Right.
doing. But we're always usually the last ones to get something. But like you said, man, Harvey was the largest suburb outside of the city of
Man, it was
Chicago.
beautiful there.
It was
Yes.
self-sustaining. They didn't have to rely on the tax base to make everything go. They had businesses. They had all kind of stuff going
Yeah.
on.
They had steel
So that's
mills.
why
They had,
the steel
man, they
mills.
had all
And
kind of
then
industry, you know.
guys buying new cars every two
Yep,
years. They work at
that's
the steel
exactly
mill making.
right. You're right. Now, and the reason why it hurt me because I grew up in Harvey, so I saw a lot of that. You know, I transitioned from a puppy to a big dog in Harvey. So,
Hmm.
but I see all of the communities around Harvey, you know, like Markham and some of the other areas that are getting Amazons and Googles built in their community and all the support business to support those businesses. So I've seen these type of things taking place. So understanding that residents in Harvey is not that far from these industries and they can bring those areas back bit by bit. You need a developer. You're going to need a bulldozer and a developer to come in there to try and fix up some of these things. And I'm sure if any person flags any money into that area, they'll be more than welcome back into that community to help develop what they need to develop. But it is a prime example of a place that was once on top is now the armpit of the world because I promise you, it's nothing over there that's worth anything. So, you know, just my sentimental moment about Harvey. But now you mentioned some other things. Did we cover everything on this update? Did we miss out on anything? Because you put a whole lot of, you unpacked a whole bunch of stuff right away from the beginning.
What you say? I unloaded my
Man, you
suitcase.
unpacked some stuff, brother. You dropped it all. And I wanted to kind of alliterate on some of these things. He going and going and going. Like, oh, slow down. Let me get back to this one. Let's get back to that one. So we talked about where they can get mortgage help. We talked about where they can get a mortgage class. You mentioned some other things. Do you need to elaborate on them some more?
Well, the other thing that I wanted to elaborate on is that if people want to contact us and then they can get more information, they need to know that our service area includes South Cook County, Southwest Cook County, Northeastern Will County. We also offer fair housing programs to Kankakee County, Lake County, Indiana, and some underserved Illinois
Okay.
counties because we're a regional agency. So we have a wide um, area coverage, and you need to, because it's like you just said, it's just so much information to talk about in 1 hour, and that's why I'm glad you always have me come back on the
Yes, sir.
show to talk about things. And I can talk about all kind of housing things, but Ron's going to keep me more focused into what into what we have to talk about today. We can talk about recidivism versus housing.
Mm-hmm.
How many cons are able to buy how we can go in all kind of things about that because the government, I'll say this, I'll say this. The government has hard numbers
Mm-hmm.
on what it is that I've just talked to you about.
Yeah. Yeah.
They know how many African American homeowners there are in the country, how many white homeowners, how many Asian homeowners, how many homeowners that are ex convicts.
Yep.
They know all of that. And that information is
Right.
documented. And it's public knowledge. It's not a
Right.
secret. So you just have to know how to access uh, that type of information. So I know we just had a short amount of time, so I did cover though the necessary
Okay.
things. We talked about home ownership. We talked about retention, how to retain your properties through utilizing the housing assistance fund. Also, there are other retention options such as seeking loan modifications. You have loan modifications. You have repayment plans. Even though I can't stand repayment plans because how are you going to counsel somebody? You're going to say, well, guess what? This is going to be higher than what you have to pay, and you have to pay this for 6 months. We know that your mortgage was 1,000, but you're going to have to pay $1,500 for the next six. Most of those
Yeah,
stay
it's a
okay,
trick bag. Yeah.
because you have to have a surplus in your budget in order to carry that plan for 6 months, and have a strict spending
Yeah.
habit.
Yeah, it's a trick bag. Yeah,
So
it's a trick bag.
yeah, it's a trick. So there are other retention options uh, that we can discuss, and then the other thing you want to talk about that we covered was the education
Yeah.
piece as far as home ownership.
Exactly.
Educated homeowners more likely to be able to stay in their homes for what they
Right.
know. And and there are many people that are witnesses of that. They don't know. They know how to find the education or get the information they need to know to try and do something, and they don't quit. They always out there
Right.
looking. So, you want if you want to look at our website, the website is very easy. It's
Right.
southsuburbanhousingcenter.org. You're familiar with our
Oh yeah.
website. You always on
Yep.
it. And that's where, and if you go in and you click on to where it says support us, and you subscribe to our newsletter, you will get information, up to date information about any program that's coming out there.
Okay.
I think you got emails
All the
from
time.
us.
That's why,
Okay, so
I keep up with stuff. Now, I heard this in the grapevine that they were going to be coming out with another rent relief program. I don't know if you're at liberty to speak about it because I know you hear about stuff before I hear about stuff, or we hear about stuff at the same time, sometimes. And I don't know if you're willing to talk about it publicly or wait till it's been released because I ain't trying to get you in no trouble. Because, people take information and run with it and say, oh, I'm going to be at this door tomorrow so I can get in on this one. you know?
well, you're not gonna get me in trouble, and I'm a big boy. I can take my whoopings real good, but I'm not gonna put. But I'm older now, so I'm not gonna put myself in a position where I could be whooped
Right,
on, and I'm only gonna be whooped on so long.
right,
Um, just to reiterate what you just said, I can say this: that word was out there.
Was.
That is that it was, and then you don't hear nothing.
Okay.
So it was out there. And then you say, hey, what about this? What is it? Oh, we don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it was out there. So it's definitely something
Okay.
that's coming. That's a definite. We just don't. It was just like this mortgage assistance fund. You remember how they were talking about this thing in December, and then they pushed it back in January, then they pushed it back.
That's right.
Then when they rolled it out, they did it all of a
Right.
sudden.
Right.
So this is kind of like that. Um, I can tell you this: where a lot of this money comes from that you see is that there are pools of CARES Act money
Right.
in all over the country and the U.S. provinces.
Hmm.
They take that money and pull it back,
For
and then they
those that didn't use
reallocate
it.
it for those that didn't
Right.
use it, and they reallocate those funds to the different states that have the greatest need.
Yes.
So when I was talking about the housing crisis post pandemic and pre
That's right.
pandemic, the government sees this and they have to answer this because if your home ownership and the housing crisis is not addressed, you're going to see some other things happen that I don't even want to mention
Right.
because it's the housing that drives the economy of this
That's right.
country. And if the housing in this country goes down and then the economy goes down, we are in a world of hurt.
Yeah.
The people who own houses, they go to the grocery stores the most. They go to Home Depot and Lowe's and everything else. They drive the tax structure of cities through the tax bills and paying for the maintenance of roads and infrastructure and the safety, fire safety and police, all of that. So if you interrupt the housing structure, you interrupt all of that. Look at Ford Heights.
Hmm.
They have the county police is there.
That's right.
You wonder why it got that way.
Hmm.
That's how it got there.
Yep.
Then you got another city that was it Harvey almost had to
Yeah,
have
they
the
had them
county
for a
come in.
while.
They had them for a
Right.
while. Why was that? Because of the housing infrastructure that is in
Hmm.
place. So these things are important, and you have to. Um, I know Biden sometimes gets a bad
All
rap.
the time.
Obama did.
Yep.
Obama did. But I'm gonna tell you, they did more to help the housing crisis, I believe, than any sitting president since FDR.
Yeah.
When they came home from World War II and they had to build homes for the
That's right.
veterans. So we have to we have to stay educated and stay informed about these things. And the way to stay informed is by getting in touch with the housing counseling
Yes.
agencies, not just mine, but any
Yeah.
of them, any HUD approved agency, because we're always up to date on stuff. So, and that's why Ron is so knowledgeable because about what we do. Because he'll call me and ask me, "Did I hear about this?"
Well, yeah, I'm on
And I tell
several watch lists, and I ain't talking about the bad kind of watch lists. I get notices from state representatives, from federal officials, and they send out information. And I'm looking, and like you said, there's no date on when it's going to officially be available for people to apply. I watch the information brochures, the bulletins that come out, and I'm like, well, what happened to it? Like you said, well, what happened to it? Because I like to be able to tell people, information that's been fact checked. Okay, in this business, you got to fact check everything. And I know that you're gonna keep it real. When you come on here, you're gonna keep it real, and I appreciate that. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I know we got a little
well,
started a little late today, but we're running over a little bit, and that's fine because I want to make sure we get the information. And one of the things I always like to do when I bring guests on the show is I ask them a couple of questions. And I know you've been here long enough to know the questions is coming. First question is, will you come back?
I think that's a crazy question, but of course I'll come
Okay,
back.
well, I need to get it on
You
tape, man. I need to make sure I
oh
got.
oh oh you gonna put me out? Okay, you put me out there like that. Yes, I'll come
Thank
back.
you. I need to hear the words, I'm trying to make sure I got it on tape because if you ever turn me down, I'm going to say, hold on, let me go get the tape. Just like them, them other folks when 45 used to tell a lie. Hold on, let's go get to the tape, and bring up the tape and say, right here, you said.
Hey y'all, he'll call me back after the show and he'll be like, "What's wrong with you, man? You won't come back." He'll let me have it.
Yeah,
So
no, but I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule. And I know you had a trying day and dealing with what you had to deal with. But I appreciate you taking time to come on the show. Um, and when you come back, we're gonna be doing some different things. So we ain't even gonna have a problem of dealing with Facebook no more. We're gonna put them in the dust. They on their way out, and they know, and they must know it because they acting up like somebody that's on their way out. Okay, so we're gonna switch up and go over to YouTube, y'all. We're gonna be doing lives on YouTube, and then we'll just put the tape on Facebook for y'all to look at since y'all like Facebook so much. That's what we'll do. But the second question that I have is what would you like to leave with the people before you get out of here today?
what I would like to leave, other than what I've already left on the table, is to um, well, you got my information, but I would like to tell you, is in spite of whatever it is that you're going through, whatever it is that you're dealing with, that you continue to be encouraged. Keep your head up, like Earth, Wind, and Fire said. Keep your head to
To
the
the
sky,
sky. Yes, sir.
and when you and what do you see when you look up? When you look up, you can envision seeing the one who created you,
Yes.
because I just believe that is the source of everything that can come to us, no
Yes.
matter who you are. You don't have to be you could be a saint or a sinner or whatever, but the source of everything that you have and all your blessings, it comes from him, no matter what you believe.
Yep.
Uh, so that's what I can leave with you, for you to be encouraged in your situation. Get a hold of somebody, get a hold of us. You've got my contact information in front of you. The number 708-957-4674. You can hit zero, and you'll get the receptionist. My name is Robert Sanders. If you punch through the voice prompts, you may get me, but Ron's going to tell you it might be a little while before I call you back on that
Oh
number.
Lord.
Because when he says I was busy, sometimes that's an
Yeah.
understatement. Because we have so many people that we serve, and there's one of me, and there's hundreds of you.
Yeah. I gotta tell you,
So
I gotta tell y'all a story about him and that phone line.
oh
I
oh oh
remember one time I was on the phone with Robert one evening, and he happened to look up and look at his voicemail, and he saw a phone call at 3 a.m. in the morning. He's like, who calling me for help at 3 a.m. in the morning?
that's
They ain't gonna get no call back till Monday.
right. See them on the side.
I was like, man, but see, that was the smart person,
True.
okay? Because they figure if they left you a message at 3 a.m., they gonna be first in line when you start checking messages. Okay, so they kind of knew what they was doing to get your attention.
Hey, backstory. Backstory. They did get caught.
Uh-huh. See, that's what's up. Well, look,
Oh boy.
thank you, man. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you. Before we get out of here, all on the national news today, it's unfortunate that we had another shooting and another group of people killed. 14 people, children and adults, teachers and children in Texas. And, I don't know what was going through that person's mind when he pulled the trigger and ended the lives of 14 people. But I will say that, my prayers and my thoughts go out to those that have just lost a loved one, a child, or a teacher in a small town. The town was so small that every report that's coming out of that situation right now, and it's still developing, it's still happening right now as we're recording. They're talking about it. The town is so small that everybody that they have interviewed up to this point in time knows everybody in that town, so they know those children. So that's a whole town full of hurt right now. That's a whole place that's full of hurt right now. So I would encourage, any prayers that you can send their way, please do that. Prayer is always in order. Just like Robert was saying a few seconds ago, when you look to the heavens, which cometh our help, then you can receive help. You know, and it rains on the just and the unjust at the same time. So, I mean, did you want to make a comment about that, Robert? I think you turned yourself off. I don't hear you anymore. Okay, I don't know what you did, but you muted yourself. There you
Wait a
go.
minute.
There you go.
Okay. There we
Yeah,
go. Man, I'm just that modern technology, brother. But in light of what you just said, we've got so many things that's going
yeah.
on. You that's we've had more mass killings that I've heard about in recent memory that's coming up, but we've got a bigger situation that's on our hands. We already know about the gas,
Mm-hmm.
but we've got 380 million people that are about to face starvation,
Yes.
and that is just that number is mind-boggling, but it's
Mm-hmm.
real because of the grain embargo that's in Ukraine by the war. It's already affected our gas prices, it's affected our food, it's affected everything. So we have more people now that are being affected than just these kids in
All right.
Colorado.
Yeah.
And to me, on a global scale. And when you look at what's happened with these kids in Colorado, now I know that I may catch a bad rap, but where were you when our young brothers and sisters was being gunned down all across the country? And I'm talking about black and
Yep.
brown.
That's right.
We got so many of our sisters that are being snatched up off the street and not being found
That's
again.
right. We got issues. We got
Where
issues. Yeah.
resources? So we got issues. So with me being also being a minister, you know, we got a lot to pray for.
Yes.
We got a lot to go to God for and get guidance and direction for what's next. So that's my spin on it.
Okay.
But just as sure as oh, and the other thing too, and I know we're off a little bit, but Russia and China have been doing joint nuclear missile testing
Yeah.
operations while our administration, Biden administration, was in
Yep.
Japan to send. That is a distinct message
Yep.
for those of you, because not all of you are aware of the Bible prophecy, but for those of you that are aware of Bible prophecy, that is
Yep.
significant. You know what I'm
Oh
talking
yeah.
about, Ron. So we're
Yeah.
not going to go into that show. That's
That's
another show
another
too.
show
That's another.
altogether. I'm about to bring you on with your collar on, and let you have fun with that. Yeah. But thank you.
I have to raise the armor
Yeah,
again.
yeah, you probably would too. You know. Well,
No, I
yeah. Well, look, my brother, I love you, man. Ain't nothing you can do about it. You stay right there. We're gonna end the show. I want to invite everybody to come over and see me on Thursdays at Facebook and YouTube. Every Thursday on Street News Now, Six Guys and You. We are doing our thing. We are talking about world events and topics. So please come check us out each and every Thursday on Facebook and on YouTube. Also, check me out each and every Saturday from the desk of Dr. Ron. I've got a show that I do on YouTube, which I'm going to be moving all my shows to YouTube, just a heads up. On YouTube each and every Saturday at 12 noon from the desk of Dr. Ron, where I entertain questions and comments from the public and I give you an answer that only I can give. So I look forward to seeing you guys on each and every one of these shows. Also, want you guys to go over to my website, ask-dr-ron.com. Please check out all of my advertisers. Please subscribe, like, and share. And I want to thank everybody that have made donations up to this time. I thank you for your contributions, and we will continue to do what we're doing. We're trying to make things bigger and better. So you just keep following me as we continue to grow. Peace and love. See y'all on Thursday.